When we picture the classic American dream, it usually looks a bit like this: a booming Main Street, reliable jobs, and the promise that if you put in 40 hours a week, you could build a comfortable life. But today, the math behind that promise has broken down. Right now, 40 million Americans are living below the poverty line. That is roughly 1 out of every 8 people you pass on the street. It is easy to assume these numbers are driven by unemployment. However, millions of the people struggling to get by are working full-time. They are the people doing essential work in our communities, like the teachers in our local schools. When full-time work fails to cover basic needs, we are dealing with a structural math problem rather than a series of personal failures. Let's build a budget for a typical full-time, lower-wage worker. After taxes, a common take-home pay for these roles is right around $2,500 a month. We can picture that income as a stack of 100 blocks. Each block is $25. This tower represents the absolute maximum amount of resources this person has for the entire month. The challenge is straightforward but difficult. They have to make this exact pile stretch across 30 days without running out of blocks. There is no hidden reserve, there is no negotiation. This stack is the strict ceiling on their life for the next 4 weeks. The first thing we have to pay for is a place to live. We aren't talking about luxury penthouses here, just a standard, basic apartment. For low-income earners, rent routinely consumes 50% or more of their entire take-home pay. Half of our blocks disappear immediately. Over the last few decades, the cost of housing has climbed steadily upward, while base wages have largely stayed flat. Before our worker has eaten a single meal or turned on a light switch, their mathematical odds of making it through the month have been cut in half. Now we have to keep the family fed and keep the power on. These are non-negotiable costs just to maintain a household. Once we pay the grocery bill and the utility companies, our remaining stack of 50 blocks shrinks down to just a handful. Then there is the cost of simply getting to the job that provides this income. You need gas and insurance to make the daily commute. We take out the transportation costs and the pile drops again. What we have left at the bottom is pure survival. There are no blocks hidden away here for a family vacation, a dinner out, or a rainy day fund. But life doesn't happen in a vacuum. Eventually, everyday friction catches up with you. A car engine starts knocking and needs repairs. Or maybe your child wakes up with a fever and you have to make an unexpected trip to urgent care. These are normal life events. But an unexpected $400 bill requires 16 blocks to pay for it. And looking at our budget, those blocks simply do not exist. To bridge the gap, the only option left is a high-interest credit card. A basic math problem suddenly turns into a compounding debt trap. This is the mechanics of the poverty trap. It stems from a complete lack of margin. When you live without a buffer, any normal life event can collapse your entire financial foundation. When we zoom out from this single worker's failing budget, we can clearly see the full scope of the issue. Multiply that one failing budget by 40 million families to see the national scale of the crisis. This structural breakdown is happening in every corner of the country. 40 million Americans are trapped because the basic cost of existing simply outpaces what their jobs pay. To fix the equation, we have to change the variables. That means building more affordable housing, expanding healthcare access, and ensuring that wages match the real cost of living. Viewing poverty as a math problem changes how we approach it. We can focus our energy on fixing the system that failed to provide enough blocks, rather than assigning blame to the people trying to survive within it.